What's up guys? In today's video I will cover how you can turn up the volume knob with your listing appointments. Now when you look at very successful people like Charlie Munger, who's an investor in a company called Berkshire Hathaway, and Berkshire Hathaway is a company of Warren Buffett. So they've invested in companies like Apple, Coca-Cola, they're very big companies, and the net worth of Charlie alone is over $2.2 billion, right? So what does he really attribute his success to, and what is one of the main patterns behind his success? Well, if you look at these people, a lot of them use mental models. And what does mental models have to do with your listing appointment generation? Well, mental models are essentially how you understand your marketing. It's how you understand the world, and it's ultimately how you reason your decisions. So today I want to introduce to you one of the most important mental models you can use to grow your business, to generate more listings, to generate higher brand awareness with your marketing, everything else that you really want to have from your marketing activities, to generate more listing appointments and obviously generate more money. Now, the mental model I want to introduce to you is called throughput. Now, throughput itself is simply end-to-end flow. So taking a stranger to your actual client. And throughput specifically means the rate of processing. So how fast is the rate from you to take a stranger, take them to a client? How efficient is that end-to-end flow? So this process can be broken down into 8 different phases. The first phase is awareness. So getting local homeowners to become aware that you exist in the first place. Now, why is this important? Well, let's say you look at all the other phases, right? Let's say content creation, you look at things like email automation, you look at your website, you look at your funnel, you look at any of these different things. Look at your social media accounts, how they're optimized, everything else. Well, it doesn't matter if you don't have actual people, actual real local homeowners seeing those different things, right? So that's why the awareness is the first piece you got to fix as a realtor. And obviously I would say like for plus 90% of the realtors, this is the main problem that they have. They don't have enough leads, they don't have enough followers, they don't have enough people seeing their marketing campaigns overall, they don't have enough people on their email list. So the way if you have enough real awareness is you want to look at the number of homeowners who are actually seeing your content on social media. So how actually seeing that on Instagram, seeing it on LinkedIn, seeing it on Facebook, seeing it in their emails, seeing it in your omnipresent strategy, page strategy, lead generation strategy, everything else. And typically you want to have about 1,000 real local homeowners seeing you per every listing appointment you want to generate. So if your goal is to generate say 10 listing appointments per month, well then you want to have about 10,000 local homeowners seeing you. And keep in mind is that this is what I mean by real local homeowners. So I don't mean like other realtors, I don't mean fake followers, I don't mean just to have somebody following you, but actually having a real local homeowner seeing you, actually opening your emails, actually seeing your posts, actually consuming those different posts. So this is the first piece of the process. You got to have enough awareness, and this is going to determine a lot of your throughput. So the more awareness you have, the more results you're going to have by default. Now from there, the second piece of the process is knowledge. So what I mean by knowledge is that getting local homeowners to really understand how you're relevant to them. So when you look at most realtors, they call themselves realtors. But for most local homeowners, I still remember multiple years back when we started working with realtors, we did not know who a realtor is, what a realtor does, what is the value of a realtor. And this is the case for most local homeowners out there. You as a realtor, you meet realtors every day. You're selling houses every day. You're negotiating deals every day. Now, so you're very aware, you understand, you have the knowledge about the whole process. But a civilian, a local homeowner who sells their house maybe 1 time, 2 times, 3 times in their whole lives, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the understanding of what a realtor is, how a realtor is relevant, and also they don't have the understanding of how you're relevant to their lives. So once you get somebody to become aware of who you are, let's say they follow you on social media, let's say they become your listing lead, let's say they jump into your email list, right? Any of those different pieces, once you get into their world, you need to start getting them to understand how you're relevant to their lives, how you can help them. Not just saying you're a realtor, but actually getting them to understand, who you are, what you do, how you can give them value in their lives. Third step of the process is relationships. So what I mean by relationships is getting people to really know you, like you, and trust you. So this is the main piece with your marketing that you have to have in place that most realtors simply don't have in place. Most realtors have things like automated content. Most realtors have things like just lead generation campaigns. Most realtors have things like only, email drip campaigns, things like that. So very, very impersonal. But you as a realtor, you have to realize that 33% of your listings go based off referrals. So according to National Association of Realtors, 33%, 1 in 3 listings go based off referrals. What does that tell you about relationships? Well, it's extremely important. So same applies to your marketing. Most realtors don't have this in place, but with you want to create your content in a way that is personal, that is relevant, that is building up those relationships with those local homeowners, getting them to know you, getting them to like you, getting them to trust you, not just automating it, not just throwing it to your assistant, but really getting homeowners to know who you are, like you, and trust you. And this way, when you jump on the listing appointment, creating a situation where, they're saying to you, hey, I've seen you for multiple months. I've seen you for years. I'm ready to sell my house. You are my realtor. That's exactly what you want to create at this stage of the process. Now, from here, the next step, the authority piece, is to really getting people to believe that you're the expert authority for getting them house sold. Now, you could have these stages like awareness, you could have these stages like knowledge, you could have these stages like relationship, but at the end of the day, people are only going to go with one real estate agent. They're going to select one realtor they're going to hire to sell their house. Now, as a realtor, this means that you want to be in that number 1 spot, because if you're not, if you're a number 2 spot, number 3 spot, you're simply not going to get the listing. So in a similar way, with your marketing, with your online advertising, with your email campaigns, with your social media content, you need to get people to believe and associate you to a situation where you're the number 1 expert that they need and the number 1 person they're going to work with. So it can be that they're going to, they can't believe that they're hiring their friend, hiring their cousin, hiring a discount broker, any of those options, or selling the house even themselves. They can't believe any of those different things. They have to believe that working with you is the best possible option for their needs. Now, from here, the 5th step is top of mind preference. So top of mind preference simply means that getting people to have a high level of desire towards your service. So what I mean by this is that specifically, as we discussed earlier, you want to get people to see you as their number 1 option for a realtor. But you also want to get people to have a high level of desire towards working with your specific service. The reason why this is very, very important is because when you look at the marketplace, let's face it, it's a very competitive marketplace. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of realtors. There's discount brokers. You could sell the house yourself. You could do Zillow. Like, there's millions of options you could go after when you're selling your house. And frankly, a lot of those options can be, pretty desirable. Meaning, somebody might say to you, "Well, I'm going to only charge 1%." Well, you're charging 3%, right? So they're kind of trying to make the deal better for the homeowner in that way, only by using pricing. Well, in a similar way, you have to have an advantage if you want to charge that full commission. You gotta have that advantage if you want to stay in the marketplace and continue being a realtor. You have to brand your service. You have to get people to really want to work with your specific service. And this is what I mean by top of mind preference. Getting people to really want to hire you specifically, creating that extra value with your marketing where they see that how that's different from everyone else, and also getting them to see you as their number 1 choice. So number 1 service they want to use. Now, 6th step of the process is need. So getting local homeowners to have the need to sell their house in the first place. So the way to look at the need is that obviously, you want to have people to like your service. You want to have people to like who you are as a realtor. You want to get people to be aware about who you are. But at the end of the day, for them to sell their house, they obviously need to want to sell their house itself, right? For you to be able to be the vehicle who's going to be able to serve them with that journey. So there's 2 ways somebody's going to sell their house. First of all, it's going to come off naturally. So meaning you don't have to do anything for it. They just happen to have the need to sell their house. Let's say career change. Let's say they have a divorce. Let's say they have anything happening in their lives. New baby, new children, or let's say just want to have another change of scenery, or let's say to retire, anything like that. Children move away, anything like this, right? So, with the need specifically, it can come off truly naturally, where somebody just, as an example, for many of our clients, just might have a career change. Executive, they need to change their house because they're moving to another city, right? Well, there, you don't necessarily need to do any work. They're ready to, sell their house. You just need to position yourself as a realtor who's going to help them with that. But there's also a second group of people who are on the sidelines. They're wondering, well, maybe I should do it, but they don't necessarily need to do it right now. They don't have that immediate need to do it right now, right? Or maybe they're thinking about it, but they might have an objection. Well, yeah, I want to sell my house, but where I'm gonna find my next house, right? They might have those types of things. And obviously, there's a lot more reasons for why somebody wouldn't change or why somebody wouldn't sell their house that we obviously cover in the program. But here with this 6th step, you want to have triggers for both of these. So you want to have triggers for, first of all, people who have the immediate need to sell their house. For those people, you can be very direct. So you can directly convert them into a listing appointment, into a listing. But then you also want to trigger those people who are on the sidelines to also take action, get them to believe that now is the right time to sell their house. They want to do it right away. And that's how you're going to be able to also get a lot more throughput out of your systems. So 6th step was the need, and from here the 7th step was the conversion. So conversion is then getting homeowners to reach out to you, getting them to contact you, getting them to sign that listing agreement with you. So homeowner contacting you, homeowners reaching out to you is the conversion piece. And I would say this is also where a lot of realtors lack. So meaning that they don't necessarily have their retargeting systems in place. They don't have their email sequences in the right way. They don't have their specific scripts for converting that person, following up with those people, right? So here, the 7th step conversion is obviously one of the most important pieces once you have these other pieces covered, where you got to have conversions coming in so you can pay for your ads, you can serve your clients, you can help them out, and you can simply build your business with this whole process. Now, last step is going to be listing appointments. So you going on listing appointment, you getting people to sign that listing agreement. So same thing applies here. Once you get somebody convert, they reach out to you, they book that appointment to your calendar. From here, you go to the listing appointment. You obviously also want to be able to convert the listing appointment into actual listing, selling the listing, getting the commission, and growing your business from there. So if you want to scale your listing business, you got to look at these whole pieces. So the problem is that for most realtors, they only have one piece. They might have Facebook ads, but they might not have, say, the knowledge, or they might not have the relationships. They might not have their authority. They might not have the need. They might not have the conversion pieces, right? So you can see here, somebody might be running Facebook ads for awareness, for reach, anything like this. But if you don't have the other pieces, it's not going to do you any good. You won't be profitable. You won't be getting listing appointments. Same thing applies with, say, the other pieces where you might not have awareness, but you might have good content. You might have videos that are professionally shot. You might have amazing service. You might be a good realtor. You might have amazing relationships with those people. But then you simply don't have your awareness. You don't have enough followers. You don't have people on your email list. You don't have enough people going to your Facebook campaigns or Instagram campaigns. You simply don't have enough reach, and that's why you're not reaching your listing appointment goals. So again, same thing applies here. You don't want to look at just one piece, but rather the overall process. And obviously this is where working with an expert, working with a person who's done this over and over again obviously helps, because it's very hard for us to see this ourselves, right? We're normal human beings, and it's very hard to sometimes see, I'm lacking in relationships, or I'm lacking in awareness, or I'm lacking in conversions, right? But when you work with an expert, we're truly able to see it from the outside view, point out the bottleneck that you have, get it fixed, get it done, and so the flow opens up. It's a little bit like having, water coming in through a pipe. You might have some piece of that process where you have the pipe, but then some of it is stuck. Where you fix one of these pipes, it opens up and the water starts flowing in. And in a similar way, you can have a lot of listing appointments just start flowing in, and very, very quickly. So for many realtors, you gotta have obviously identify first of all the bottleneck, but first of all, like for most realtors, that is obviously the number one. They don't have enough leads, they don't have enough awareness, they don't have enough followers, those types of things. But that's relatively easy to fix. It's not necessarily a very hard thing to fix. So when you fix that, you want to start also looking at these other pieces. So they simply, when you simply do that, you're able to really scale up your listing appointments. So lastly, if you want us to personally identify your bottleneck, to personally show you how to fix it with already working, with already proven systems, click the button below and you can book a free one-on-one strategy session with me personally or Eli, our co-founder. So if you might find that useful, you can click the button below, book a free call. It's 45 minutes. We're happy to see how we can help, see if we can maybe even work together. So looking forward to that, and I'll talk to you soon.